Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. In this one, I really wanted to ask the question here, is Duane Brown, former Texan, former Seattle Seahawk the last couple of seasons, is he an option for Joe Douglas in this New York Jets offense moving forward? Coming in at 6'4", 315 pounds, he's 36 years old, former first-round pick, all the way back in 2008, which is kind of crazy to think about. But he's really been a full-time starter his entire career, again, going back to Houston, and even the last couple seasons in Seattle. He started 45 games in the last 3 seasons. So, at the end of the day, Duane Brown, he's been reliable, he has been durable for whatever offense he's been a part of, and he's not only just been kind of just out there, right, just as a body, as a placeholder, he's been good. He's been really good. Now, admittedly, Duane Brown is coming off a down season, right? According to his own numbers, it was one of the worst of his career. Now, of course, we could factor in a lot of different things. I'm sure age does have a role in that, but he did allow 8 sacks, 33 total pressures last season in 17 games. But look, at the end of the day, I do think that would be more important if we're talking about bringing Duane Brown in as a franchise piece, right? Are we considering handing out a mega deal here? No, right? The role that Duane Brown would come in and fill is the third kind of backup tackle, the swing tackle. If Mekhi Becton, let's just say, isn't ready to go, if he gets hurt again, something happens there, maybe something happens with George Fant in the injury realm in training camp, we can never be safe enough. We can never have an excess of backup plans, in my opinion. I mean, we just take a look at how the team functioned last year with all of the injuries, both on both sides of the football here, right? Luckily, we did have George Fant step up, and Joe Douglas did bring in Morgan Moses in the summertime. So at tackle specifically, we were okay. But what about safety, right? What about edge rusher? Some of these positions, what about linebacker, right? Quincy Williams stepped up, but Najee Dean experienced injuries. Jamie Sherwood experienced injuries. Like, there were tons of injured players last season. And unfortunately, the Jets just didn't have enough firepower behind them. We didn't have the depth. So I don't think it's a bad idea. And by the way, it depends on where you look, but the Jets can't afford to bring one of these free agents in, right? I know the Jets went out and they signed a ton of players, Whitehead, Laken Tomlinson, right? They handed out some sizable deals, nothing too insane. They didn't break the bank for anybody, but again, depends on where you look. The Jets have anywhere from $5 to $9 million to spend in free agency, right? That's left in cap space. So on paper, it does make sense for the Jets to just ensure that backup tackle position, considering that this team has been hit very hard with the injury bug over the last couple of seasons. It wasn't just last year. We can even go back to the Gase era. Tons of guys were hurt then as well. So I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, going back to Brown here, I do think he's a little bit better in the running game. That's where I feel really comfortable with Duane Brown, envisioning him in a Jets uniform moving forward. I think he would be really, really beneficial. As far as a contract projection is concerned, I would say anywhere from, at the low end, maybe $3 million. At the top end, maybe 6 or 7. I think for me, 6 or 7 is a little high, especially at this point in time. Looking at how the team acquired Morgan Moses last season around a similar time, just kind of in the middle of summer. Nobody was really expecting the Jets to make a move like that, adding a solid veteran tackle, a former starter for Washington, when the team had Becton coming off a great rookie season, and of course George Fant, which was one of Joe Douglas's big first signings as a general manager. If I'm not mistaken, the first signing is as Jets general manager here. So bottom line is this: I like Duane Brown. I really do. I think if the Jets were to go out and sign him, let's just say tomorrow, right, news comes out, Jets are bringing in Duane Brown, 1-year contract, I would be elated. I'd be totally pumped up. I think he'd bring a lot of really, really good things to this Jets offensive line. When we look at the roster right now, it's Max Mitchell, who's a mid-round pick this season out of Louisiana. A guy who I like. He's played on the right side, played on the left side, has a big upside. I like Max Mitchell a lot. I just don't know. Let's assume the worst. Becton isn't ready to go. George Fant has some sort of injury pop up. All of a sudden, Max Mitchell, it's time for him to step up and go as a full-time starter. I don't know how I would feel about that as far as a comfort level year 1. Year 2, Okay, awesome. Year 3, even better. But year 1, I'm still a little weary on. We just don't really know what Mitchell brings to this Jets team at this point in time. For me, I would like to redshirt him, ideally, and I think if we could avoid a situation like that, right, where, hey, let's just say somebody goes down, we have a solid plan B there. We have an insurance policy. Whether it's a Duane Brown, whether it's a Riley Reiff, whoever it may be, I don't want to be in a situation to where somebody goes down midway through the season and Jets fans all across the front office is like, man, you know what? We really should have signed that veteran tackle for $4 million. We ended up not using it. We still have it. Now we're SOL, right? These guys are on other teams. They signed their contracts, and the Jets have got to roll with a banged up, depleted lineup moving forward. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Duane Brown, Riley Reiff. I know Eric Fisher is still out there as well. Do the Jets make a move at all? Right, whether it's offensive line, maybe a safety, right, maybe a weak side linebacker, Quan Alexander is still out there. We'll see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts. Do the Jets make a move at all? If they do, who do you want them to bring in? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.